Hello, this is Nathan, better known as CrazyhermitDM, and this is my podcast, The Hermit's Homebrew. Joining me today is Drew from Team Drew's Basement as we talk about his project, the Plague Throne, and the tabletop gaming community. Joining us today is the head of Team Drew's Basement from Team Drew's Basement. Actually, where did that name even come from? Because in my little bit of online research that I was able to do, I wasn't actually able to find the genesis story behind it.
So it's actually a funny story. So when I was one of the first people of my friends to really buy a house, and when we bought the house, I said I really want to make sure we got a finished basement that I can game in and hobby in, and it worked out that we got one. And all my friends, we would just game in my basement, and we went to Captain Con in Rhode Island, and we signed up for the Age of Sigmar tournament. And the guy organizing it goes, "Oh, what's the name of your team?" Since we're there like as a group. And we're like, what? He's like, what's the name of your team? This way we won't have to pair you off against each other in the first round. So I was like, and my friend Mike goes, it's Team Drew's Basement. And like, it just stuck. Like just this random thing he came out with out of nowhere. And now it's an LLC. So
I know
evolution.
it's especially with the Plague Throne stuff
Mm,
coming and actually already going, not even coming, but you're
yeah.
pre-filling orders and all that, I believe.
Yeah, I'm doing pre-orders and they should have been shipping out the end of February, like the last week of February. But everything that's been pre-ordered, I'm already starting to ship. So
Oh, I mean, you don't get that often where you actually back something and get it early.
yeah, it's weird. People are like, "Hey, what do you mean it's coming earlier than expected?" I'm like, "What do you mean? What do I mean?"
Well, yeah,
Um,
I mean, there's so many Kickstarters that fail or are years late. That no, I promise I'll eventually get to it, and and then I don't think I think you're one of the first people I've heard. Oh yeah, it's a month early.
I mean, I don't know. Do you know the story of Super Dungeon and everything?
I'm not. I've heard of it, but I'm not aware of like the story behind it.
Okay, so basically what wound up happening was Super Dungeon Explorer was a great chibi game. It was very popular, very enjoyable. I mean, it is kind of a niche game
Yeah.
because it's chibi style, but it's a dungeon delver. I played it once and instantly got hooked just on the minis alone, but then the game was super fun. Um, I want to say about 10 years ago, they came out with like, it was supposed to be their third expansion or whatever, like third big box expansion, really. It backed for $1.5 million, I think was the total at the end. And 10 years later, we still don't have anything.
Oh.
So, yeah, it was basically supposed to make the game where you could like level up your characters and do all this other stuff. And they just haven't delivered on it. And, listen, it is what it is. I've been able to speak to the people who own the company and own the IP because of what I'm doing. And yeah, it was just a series of unfortunate events, but it made the community very hostile. And I did a
Mm.
Kickstarter and a game found, and both failed because of it.
Yeah.
Um, because I was an unknown creator. There were a lot of factors, but one of the big ones was definitely that a lot of people saying, I'm never going to trust this company. They're putting out for Ninja Division, who is bankrupt at this point and dissolved, and a whole big to do. But so I wound up taking the game and just creating my own rules for it. And when my dad had prostate cancer, we wound up going. It's like his favorite game, Super
Yeah.
Dungeon. He loves it. So me and my friends would meet every other Thursday, and we'd all play it with him. And it kept his spirits up while he's going through all that, and he's cancer free now and still loving the game. But so to thank my friends, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make minis of all these guys and put them in the game. This is like a thank you. Like I wasn't selling it; I was just doing it. And I shared it on my Instagram, and one of the creators of the game was like, "Hey, dude, we should probably have a talk." And I was like, "Uh-oh." And then they're like, "No, you can have." After nutshelling the conversation, they just basically said, "Yeah, you can put this out if you want, and we'll give you a license."
Oh.
And yeah, so after two failed attempts after getting that license, I said I still want to get it out. The community that loves the game is like hurting for something. Let me see what I can do on my own, and I've decided to put everything out myself, and it wound up working out. I mean, again, we're not getting into politics or anything. I'm just going to state something that's a fact. It might have been a blessing in disguise because with all the tariffs and everything happening, if
Yeah.
I were to get things shipped over, it actually could have bankrupted me because of all the extra costs that I would have had to do because I priced it so it was affordable.
Yeah.
So now doing everything myself, everything in-house, it's actually, I'm getting it out early. People can afford it. Like it's $10 for one of the small minis, 15 for the bigger ones. It's not outrageous pricing. And like I said, it's already shipping out. I've shipped out, I want to say at least half the pre-orders already.
And so, like, ignorantly, so Plague Throne is like an offshoot of Super Dungeon, or?
So basically what it is WASDEC is the name of the quote-unquote rule set, and the Plague Throne is the story version of it. So
Okay.
WASDEC, I created so you can level your characters instead of doing like one-off dungeons.
Yeah.
And then the Plague Throne is actually the story of, I mean, you could see it, the girl behind me on the banner, Celeste, where she basically is like a holy paladin. She succumbs to the plague axe and the Lord of Plagues, and like it's a whole story with her, and you can actually play through that through narrative dungeons through the collection of Super Dungeon Explorer. And I was able to add my own heroes. I was able to add more dungeon bosses and add end game rating. And it was so it's not an official quote unquote Super Dungeon product, but it is officially licensed
Yeah.
to release it. And all the game does is it adds on a campaign version that you can play your characters dungeon to dungeon and level them instead of just doing one and done.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you got the blessing from the people that made the game. So, I mean, to me, if you got the blessing of the creators, then it's part of it.
yeah, that absolutely. And again, the core of it is I didn't change the rules. The core game is still the core game. Like you still
Yeah.
use the Super Dungeon Explore rules. Mine
Yeah.
just adds on to that rule
You
set.
just made a supplement, basically, with a campaign story. In D&D,
100%. Yep.
in D&D terms.
Yep.
Or a Gazette.
260.
Is it a
What is it?
campaign set too?
268 page. So it's weird because the way the game works is it's not heavy RPG.
Yeah.
It's really just like set it up. Here's like, and they have like different cool themes. Like they have like a lava tile set. They have like a grassy set. They have an undead tile set and like associated enemies. This kind of what it does is I bring all their tiles and themes together.
Mm-hmm.
So the characters actually explore the world that they've created for Super Dungeon called Crystalia.
Yeah.
And you are basically chasing the Lady of Plagues through Crystalia and like trying to defeat her forces and everything. So it incorporates everything. It encompasses their whole world.
Which I'm sure they're happy about because you're just shining a light even more on their product.
Yeah, basically.
Has there been like any sort of setback? Or I mean, you're getting it out early. Has there been any setbacks along the way besides obviously the original Super Dungeon problem? But on
Well,
your end with this?
I mean, there's been a couple weird things I would say. Where basically, I actually I don't know about weird, and I don't want to get. I'm not going to direct quote too many people, but some of the setbacks were people not believing that I was me, or they thought I was one of the people that ran away with their money in disguise or like a
Oh,
fake account, and that hurt the campaign early on. That hurt the Kickstarter more than anything,
okay.
I think. Kickstarter did okay; it still failed, but I mean, I had people screaming at me to share my legal documents about the license being free and clear of them, and I'm like, I'm not sharing my legal documents online with you. It's not happening. Like, I don't know why you think you deserve that.
No, I.
And then, yeah, it's crazy. I'm like, you know what? I'm not getting involved in this. I had some people, threaten me. They're like, how could you do this? Blah blah blah. Their company, they deserve to go. If you're with them, you deserve to be beat up like them and
Beat up
worse. And
like.
it's like they use other words, but yeah.
Okay.
But those guys have been threatened. Their pets have been threatened. Their families have been threatened because they didn't fulfill the Kickstarter, which to me is crazy. Like
Yeah.
all in for it, by the way, was $300. It's been 10 years. If you can't recover from $300 in 10 years, like
I. Anyone that gets into Kickstarter knows it's a gamble at that. Number one.
yep,
And there's no guarantee you get the product. You're placing your basically money on black or red in a roulette table and hoping you get your product sometimes.
right.
Unless it's like
And
a
I'm sorry,
good
please.
company with a history, then it's a good bet.
Yeah, exactly. And these guys normally had it. Like I said, I know more than I'm allowed to legally say because I'm in an NDA with them because of the game.
Yeah.
And they shared a lot with me about it. Not everything, but enough that I realized, they got some bad advice. They got bad fun. I don't know the proper word, but like how to spend their money.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they were going out buying yachts and homes with it or anything like that. It was all reinvested into the company, but I think they bit off more than they could chew. And I think it was just a bunch of series of things that happened that just unfortunately didn't come out. It's not impossible that it could still come out at some point. But they have to recover a lot of lost ground in order to do that. And after 10 years, I'd be happy to see it.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many businesses that make mistakes time and time again, and some recover, some
Mhm.
don't, some continue on and live from it. And the TTRPG and the gaming community is littered with them if you really dive into it. I mean,
Yep.
there's a reason why Gary Gygax didn't have TSR at the end of his life. He made a lot of bad business decisions that led him down that route.
Yeah. But it's a shame because it was such a great game with like such
Mm-hmm.
characteristic and personality, and it was really the only thing out there like that, at
Yeah.
least initially. They had a couple other like chibi style games that were close to it, but it really did its own thing, and it was such a great game, and it just makes me sad that they couldn't deliver on it.
Was there ever a point with like Plague Throne though when you're designing it that things came about that you hadn't considered, or as any creator kind of goes
Oh.
through?
So yes, and I just want to emphasize before I answer this, I'm a very positive, happy person.
Same.
So, so the things I'm about to tell you, please don't think I'm a negative person. I just had some negative experiences making this game. One is a lot of the community wants to be involved. They want to
Yeah.
get involved, but they don't want to do any work. They don't want to do the process. They just want to be a part of the outcome.
Mm-hmm. Been there. I've been content creating since 2018. Been there
Yeah,
multiple times.
yeah, it's brutal. And what killed me the most about it was, I mean, I don't know if you know this, but at this point, I mean, Team Drew Space, by the way, it has always been like just me, like Drew, doing
Mm-hmm.
this stuff. At the Plague Throne, I'm literally doing the book layout, all the creation, all the lore, all the rules writing, um, the printing, the processing, putting it together, packing it, shipping it. It's all one man show. Because everyone was like, "Oh, dude, I'd love to help you with that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me get back to you. I got so many ideas." And after like months of them just kind of disappearing, I'm like, you know what? Like that was a learning curve for me. Was that it's tough to find reliable people uh, who like share an equal vision. I have a couple who have helped me and stuck around, which was really cool. Um, some of the things that really came up that I was not expecting was more so with the Kickstarter and the game found
Yeah.
was this one's going to blow your mind if you don't already know it. Is shipping. So I had a meeting with a company who will remain nameless, but they are one of the biggers of the shipping industry in the gaming world.
Yeah.
Like big, big, big.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, here's what I'm offering in my Kickstarter. Here's what it's going to be. Here's what the dimensions of the box are going to be. The weight, blah 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 blah. And I remember the girl I was talking to. She's like, oh yeah, so we could ship that to anywhere in the continental U.S. for like $15 for the all in. I was like, for how much? She goes, we would charge you $15 a box, and that includes packing, picking, and getting it out. I'm like, that's crazy. I'm like, that seems so much cheaper than it should be. Are you sure you have the numbers? She goes, yeah, yeah, yeah. She goes, we'll charge you 15, but then you can charge whatever you want to make profit on top of that. She goes, some companies charge $125 for shipping. And I was like, what? So apparently that's a thing. And I have a friend, Pat, who, if you're familiar with the Plague Throne game, is actually the little dwarf hunter, Obor.
Okay.
That's him. He's a huge board game guy. And he's told me multiple stories where they pre-order the all-ins for all these games, and all of a sudden they're like, yeah, shipping to you in New York is $125. And he's like, the pledge was like 250. What do you mean it's 125? Like, yeah, because the sizing and weight and everything is $125. And granted, what he's received has been bigger than what I offered, but it was not
Yeah.
much bigger and not much heavier. And he's told me, yeah, multiple companies are like that, where they hit you with the shipping later and they leave it off the pledge and they're going to charge you later based on what they get. And they charge you like $100. And I'm like, that's crazy. And apparently it's a thing where this shipping company says, here's what we'll charge what you want, whatever. And they go, okay. And they make up a lot of their lost profit in that. because I found out that because one of the people's biggest complaints about my game on the Kickstarter and crowdfund was $200 all in only gets you 21 miniatures. I said, yeah, but they're 21 unique miniatures, and one of them is a dragon that's 4x4 base, and in terms of actual
A
dimensions,
gargantuan mini, basically.
it's 6 inches tall, 6 inches wide with the wingspan.
I mean,
I'm like,
WizKids charges $90 for their gargantuan unpainted dragons, if not more, depending upon where you get them.
right, exactly. So I'm like, it's 21 miniatures, sure, but they're all unique. They all have a specific purpose, and you have this massive dragon covered in $200. It also gets you a book and cards and dice and everything, blah, 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 blah. And like, well, this guy's only charging 150 and he gives me 100 minis. I'm like, well, I can't do that. I don't know what you want. And sure as anything, those are the same Kickstarters that fund for like $3 million. And then they charge for $100 in shipping.
That's
not all. I don't want to say all, but
yeah. I probably would not be a good customer service person in that Kickstarter situation. I'm like, well, that's that guy. That's not me.
It's crazy. And I basically said, I'm like, listen, I'm keeping the shipping honest. I'm keeping the cost as low as possible because the community got burned. This is the best I can do. I need it to be this number in order to be able to secure it and guarantee I don't have to sell my house if something goes wrong.
Yeah. You
And
shouldn't have to take out a mortgage for, funding a game or a project.
Right. And I had a couple people come out of the woodwork and like comment on the whole project and be like, hey man, like this dude's been in the community since like the game started. Like he's not lying. He's not these guys. Like he is who he says he is, and he's going to deliver. He's a good guy. And the vitriol and hatred was just wild.
I mean, like we said, not to get into the finer real world topics, but I mean,
right.
that is the internet right now, unfortunately. And except for
100%.
That's the one thing I do like about our community is we try and keep it as positive as possible, at least in the gaming community, because it's a realm of escapism from the wave of shit that hits the towers of our lives.
Right. No, 100%. And like I just said, this was started out of love for my dad and keeping my dad happy and like keeping his spirits up. That, like that's what this is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about fun, relaxing, escapism. And just I will say, getting involved in the creation side of things, I've learned that one, I will just do it myself going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Like I won't go through another company to produce anything. Because it turns out that if you just have the patience and I guess a no quit attitude, you can find a box creator. You can find a book printer. You can find, if you really need 3D printing services, I 3D print my own. But you can find printing services. You can find all this stuff to get everything made and then send it to your house and you assemble and send it out. It's not impossible. You just have to have the willpower to do it.
No, like as a content creator though, like that's been here since like 2018. I think I just actually went through my little anniversary because I went and saw when the Instagram page started. Was it now 8 years in, and everybody tells me, oh, you're at 64,000. It's like, yeah, I've been at that for about 4 years because I got the pandemic surge through my page and it's flatlined since. It's why I'm doing the podcasting. It's just because I'm a guy that finds actually enjoyment in just posting and memes or sharing stuff or gaming or anything like that. It's my escapism. I don't get stressed by it. That's why
100%.
I understand mental health and burnout from creators and all that, but if you get stressed out by making content because you think you're going to get suddenly rich and famous by being an RPG creator, you're not. Or a gaming creator or anything, you're not. This is a strict passion project 99% of the time community. I'm not looking to make money or anything like that. I want to share, talk to people like you, talk to people I admire, get to meet new people, and then just have fun playing with my friends and enjoying the benefits of that. And it's grown since that.
Exactly. And listen, I have people that I'm friends with on here and on Instagram and everything that I'm just watching them, and I watch them do like the pony show where they're like, they're just posting memes, like it's all like the tropes of D&D and
yeah,
and support this cause because that's the hot cause that will attract people to your page. And it's just like look, like I don't poop on anybody's dreams. I don't know if I can curse on here.
No, you can.
I
I don't
can.
care. Yeah.
Okay. I don't like to shit on anybody's dreams. I say like if you really want to do like a webisode,
Hmm.
D&D game, if you want to do things like that, cool, like do it, like stream it, have fun with it. But you're not going to be Critical Role. Like you have to like go into the mindset that is lightning in a bottle. You're not going to, listen, if you can achieve it, great. I'm not saying don't strive for it,
Yeah,
but
but
have the mindset that that's not going to be it after the first 6 months of you trying.
no. And the reason why they got so big the way they did is because they were on Geek and Sundry, first of all, which was run
Yep.
by Felicia Day and Will Wheaton at the time. And besides, like, Christopher Perkins doing Acquisitions Incorporated, and I think, like, Sat Teen Phoenix, where she got canceled, they were maybe one of the first, if not top three, among the people that started.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, and again, like I streamed for a little bit just to have fun with it, see what it was like. And,
Yeah.
I had a good time with it. It just ended up panning out because, party members, we had some personal things happen that we just had to part ways.
Yeah. I mean,
But
that's the nature of gaming or whatever. I've had that happen. That's half the reason why I'm content creating is my old original play group told me I sucked, and I went off to prove them that they're wrong.
that's crazy. I uh I have been running my D&D campaign for 29 years now,
Yeah.
since I was 14 years old. And one of the guys in the game who's been in it the longest has been in it for like 28 or 27 of those years. Another guy's been in it for over 10. Another guy's been in it for over 8. Two guys joined in the last 2 years from the gaming convention I do. They
Yeah.
were really nice dudes, and they were like, "Yo, we want to play. We want to play." I was like, "All right, come hang out and see if you like the game." And so now I got a group of 5 players that like we just keep it in the basement. We have fun with it. It runs, regularly now. Where every time we meet up before we leave, we put a new date on the calendar to make sure
Hmm.
that we keep showing up. And it's probably one of my favorite things to do is like just run for these guys like every
Yeah.
couple weeks.
Yeah.
But
We run our personal home group. We run every 2 Saturdays, if not at least once a month. And then
nice.
half the time, you know, my partner understands it's, I'm a first responder. I'm this. I work 12 hours a day. This is besides doing the podcasting thing, that's my one moment of escapism. And she respects that, thankfully. Oh,
Yeah.
I always been with people that have,
Yeah.
but it's great. And it's just a great stress relief.
Yeah, I have to say my wife, for the most part, is really, really, really good about it. Like you mentioned Warhammer before.
Hmm.
I've gone and filmed with Mini Wargaming a few times now in Canada. And she's like, go, I got the kids. Go have fun. Like go, like you work so hard all the time. Like just,
Hmm.
go have a good time. Another nice thing is it is Team Drew's basement. So like everyone comes to the house.
Yeah,
So like if she needs me, I'm here.
exactly. This episode's been brought to you by. So every GM here starts small when building a campaign, right? A tavern, a village, a few NPCs. But what if your players want something more without you feeling overwhelmed? That's where Centurion 3D Studios steps in. Their new miniature village set lets you start small, but it's over 30 build-out options. Infinite ways to grow your world. Centurion 3D Studios is for the GMs that want to start small, but go big for their players. Alright, fellow hermits, Heimdall has just dropped their new dice line, and they come in a unique LED display box that makes them look like they're pulled straight out of a mythical ancient Viking vault. And the dice themselves, they're runic. Full Thark-inspired font on the faces, but the wild part is they've got this iridescent finish that literally changes when the light hits them. It's like your dice are actually filled with magic. If you want to show off the dice in a totally new way, grab one of these 5 sets, if not all of them. There's something out of the 9 realms themselves. That was my partner's response to me going to GaryCon and then finding out basically my D&D groups coming without that being the initial plan. And then I felt bad because we've been to Wisconsin. I'm like, I wish you could actually come. I know it's not really your thing, and she goes, no, it's fine. We
Yeah.
have a 2-3 month old baby. I'm not taking her to a con without a fully developed immune system at that.
No way. That's a good place to develop one though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I fully expect to come back feeling like crud after.
Yeah, the con crud is real, man. Every time I do Long Island tabletop, it's not even that long. Like it's set up as Friday, it runs Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday. I'm like, I feel like death every time.
Yeah, I'll be popping that vitamin D and C and whatever else I can just to hopefully,
Yeah,
lower the wave.
emergency is the way to go.
You were mentioned though that did you say that you started a con or you do a con or
Oh no,
just
so there's a local con by me called Long Island Tabletop Gaming Expo.
yeah.
It's actually this year in March. Um, it originally started as Long Island Retro Gaming Con, where they had like all old Nintendo games and some
Hmm.
tabletop games and everything. And the video game section has kind of grown off on its own thing, and the tabletop section went off on its own thing, while
Yeah.
still kind of crossing over a little bit. Um, the first year they did it, I was like, yo, I'll volunteer. I'll run games, all day Saturday. I don't mind. And I do it every year since it started, which I think this is now year 5 of it.
Oh, nice.
I mean, it's grown where we get thousands of attendees now. And every year I just run every single session available. So the first year was 1 day, so I had 3 sessions. And the next year was 2 days, and I did all 5 sessions. I do all 5 sessions every year now.
Dang.
And I don't understand it. I'm a very humble dude. Like I like to have fun at the convention, sure, and like I run fun games where like we're all laughing and having a good time. But when pre-registration goes live, I'm usually sold out of all 5 tables in about 45 minutes. I book out that quick, and I'm like, I'm not even that good of a DM. I don't know what these people are expecting. But yeah,
I have that stuck in my head too, or whatever. But I've been doing it so long that I'm better than most, just out of experience, I think.
well, and that's the thing too. Like I've been doing it obviously 29 years, and I've done multiple systems, and like I've learned to be able to like just roll with the punches and just like I don't even like in my home game I don't even have session notes anymore. I don't plan anything. I just improvise the whole session. I mean, obviously, if there's like a big event or like
Hmm.
a big combat, I might have like terrain set up or something if we're going to do a map. But in terms of actual session planning, I just improvise it because these guys I let them kind of write the story themselves and I just roll
Yeah.
with it and do what they want to do.
No, I make session notes for when I was running. My friend's now running for the first time and ever, so it's been nice not to be a forever DM. But
Nice.
I
I'm
I
jealous.
do like light notes. Other than that, like NPC names and my very bad ADHD memory, I have to have a list of names just because they will go
That's
through a
fair.
cycle of like a half dozen names if I don't remember.
That's totally fair.
Yeah.
What I do with names is if someone's like, oh, what's this guy's name? I'm like, give me a letter. And like, that'll be the letter that starts their name when they get up on the spot. But we have a guy in the group, David Johnson, the best dude in the world. He's he's the group note taker.
Yeah.
This guy writes down everything. So if we need to remember something for sure, he's like, hold on, let me check page 27.
I've done that with one of my first campaigns in the setting that I run now. Is that one of actually my co-host Brent? He's running a gunslinger called Cade, and so when you'd run into his family members, everyone had a K name just because I'm like, their name is Kevin, this, that, and just, I went with K names just to like give it uniform.
Yeah, Kevin, Karnak, Kramit. They're
Yeah,
all there.
yeah. Connor with a K.
Yeah. Yeah, but at Long Island Tabletop this year, I'm actually really excited because by popular demand, I am running Old School Essentials, as you can see on
Nice.
my shirt.
Yeah,
But I'm running Diablo in Old School Essentials. I
really.
ran it last year where I actually built Tristram Cathedral. If you look on my Instagram page, you can find
Okay.
it. Um, but last year I ran Diablo 2. This year I'm quote unquote running Diablo 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did Tristram Cathedral last year. This year I'm doing Leoric's Manor. And then I'm running an original sci-fi RPG that I created after that, an original horror RPG that I created after that, and then Sunday all day is going to be Wazdek and the Plague Throne.
So Plague Throne's not even like the first thing you've created. You've like made RPGs and all that before that.
No, I think Plague Throne was really my first venture in, but I created Jasonly because
Yeah.
I don't know if I have ADHD or autism, but my brain just never shuts off. So like I'll work on the Plague Throne. I'm like, okay, this is as far as I can take it today. Let's write an RPG. Why? Like, relax.
Uh, my big goal, because it's like year 3 of the podcast, is, and I made a daily planner just for, I don't feel like I'm slacking in my
Yep.
ADHD mind. I'm like, I'm behind, and da, 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 da. It's like, no, you're quite ahead. And then I've actually put on the goals on each month. It's like, take one day off a week.
Yes.
And
My
then,
wife would. Oh, sorry.
oh no, and I do that, and half the times I take the day off, and then obviously with the way my mind works, I feel like I'm behind then, and then I'm re-energized to go further, and then I also find, and maybe not a lot of people do this, but half the time your brain works the most. It seems like at night when you're not looking at a screen or you're staring at the dark. I find
Yep.
that if you take one day off, usually you get your best creative ideas just taking one day off to watch old movies or TV or spend time with family. And then, oh, that idea popped in my head. So let's write that down real quick.
So two things about that. One, my wife the other day was just yelling at me because she's like, you're acting like you're way behind schedule. She goes, you're literally shipping 20 plus miniatures in a box like every day, and like you're shipping them out a month and a half ahead of time. Like you're okay. Like you can take a breath. And I'm like, no, I gotta get these out. I gotta get
No.
these 4 done today. But similar to that, I used to do powerlifting
Yeah.
uh, many moons ago. And one of the big things that they always told you was, that take a day off so your body can reset.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't just train 7 days a week. You have to take days off. Otherwise, it's no good for your body. You're never gonna gain. You're never gonna repair.
None of
And I
that, you're
find
going to
that,
damage it more.
yeah. And like you're saying, I feel like that is actually the same thing with creating, especially when doing like the RPGs and the Plague Throne and everything else. Is while you may not damage anything, it can cause burnout, like hard
Mm-hmm.
burnout.
Yeah. And if you're
So
not in this, like we were talking about way earlier, of like for the pleasure, and you're trying to make something of yourself, or you think you're going to be, for some reason, a niche celebrity, you're going to burn out even faster because you're not doing it for pleasure.
right. Well, and that's what makes me laugh too. Is like, so as I'm doing this, people always like to offer advice and give
Mm-hmm.
comments on it, and they're like, well, "Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that?" I'm like, I feel like none of you truly understand. I don't care, and I'm not saying that in a rude way. Like,
No,
I'm not doing this to get famous. I'm doing this because it's fun. I can put it out. I can make back the money I invested in it, and maybe a little extra on top,
no.
and that's great.
One of my other co-hosts, Chase, like when I started taking the podcast seriously and more content creating and kind of leaning into it more because he saw that I could do more if I really wanted, and he was right.
Yeah.
He's like, well, why don't you do like react videos and all of this sort of stuff? I'm like, no,
Ugh,
I don't, I don't want to. That's generic to me. That isn't me.
yes. No, I agree with that 100%. And it's really funny you mentioned that because I was just having a conversation with Mike from the Weather Dragon the other day.
Yeah,
I don't
he
know
was
if you're
just
familiar
on
with
our
him.
podcast last. He was our Christmas episode.
Oh, see, so there you go.
Yeah.
Mike is a great dude. I love him a
Yes,
lot. I've actually met him at Mysticon in California.
he.
So,
Oh, Forever DM and Heroes of Evermore. We're always basically sharing each other's stuff and all that.
yep. And I actually did the voiceover for Morgan's audiobook.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's putting that. He says he's gonna get it out by March 7th, but I'm gonna keep busting his chops till he does. But
The-
yeah, I did the reading for that for his audiobook. I was talking to Mike the other day. I'm like, again, I don't try to poo poo on anyone's plans and dreams or whatever, but I'm just sick of watching the tropes. Like every single influencer does, meme after meme, reel after reel of just like, well, I'm the GM, that's why you're dead. Ha ha ha. And like it's like, dude, 1,000 people have made that joke. It's still not fun. I mean, I also get a little defensive about DM stuff because like I don't like that mentality of like I'm the
oh,
DM, that's why.
oh,
But
I don't have a lot of room to talk about the memes because obviously that helps keep the traffic on my Instagram page. But I feel it's more my point of view. If I'm putting down the DM, it's my British black sense of humor of self-depreciating.
right. And that's always fun.
Yeah.
But it's just like these people that like they dress up in costume to do the trope, and it's just
Oh,
the same reel as like everyone else. It's like, and they're just
no.
hoping to get like clicks, and it's like, dude, like, listen, if you're having fun doing it, have fun doing it.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not going to tell you don't have fun. Just it's it just kills me how a game. I guess maybe I should probably tell you a little bit about my background to understand why I have this opinion. Just
No.
a nutshell, I mean, from second grade till the day I graduated high school, I was literally bullied every day.
Yeah.
This, yeah, despite how big I am. I mean, I'm 6'3", 150 pounds, and I'm not that fat. Like
That's
I'm just a big dude.
I got in like side tangent here. I got into an argument a while back, and it did get a little. It didn't get heated, but it did. And like semi raised voices
Yeah,
with the people that are in our community, and I understand their point of view of like being inclusive and trying to include everybody, but they're
right.
also attacking the people that were originally here as well. And granted, there's a lot of older community members that I wouldn't even want to deal with
Right.
because of their mentality as well, that they're very negative and very narrow minded. But like the people, me who I'm 42 this May, telling me that
Happy birthday.
I'm not the target audience anymore. I'm not part of the community. I'm not relevant. It's like you guys are basically kind of keeping me at bay when I was here before Disney made being a nerd cool.
Right, exactly. And that's kind of my point is like I played this game as an escape. I don't charge people ever to play at any of my tables at any event I'm at. I refuse
No.
to do it. And like because for me it was such a great outlet when I was a kid that to watch it become just tropes and jokes and to touch on what you're saying, and I know it's a hot topic because I agree you shouldn't exclude people from your table,
No.
but I also believe that if the only people that sign up are, let's just say there's six white dudes with beards, and
Yeah.
that's the only one who signs up for your game. You're not going to run the game. Run the game.
No.
Have fun. Like
I'm not going to exclude anyone from my table. Like I ran the Tomb of
exactly,
Horrors 2 years ago. I ran with two females, a kid, a dad to the kid, and an older dude that wore a cape with a beard. I, come on, come
exactly.
die. Basically, come die in my Tomb of Horrors. I don't care who you are. You're all. I'm equal opportunity here.
Same. I actually, I will speak on an inclusivity thing that happened to me. I think was it last year, 2 years ago at Long Island
Mm-hmm.
Tabletop. I had a table of all trans players. They all signed up for
Mm-hmm.
my game. They read like the description online. Like, dude, that sounds right up our alley.
Mm-hmm.
They came and they sat down, and we just started playing the game. And I, not rudely, I just didn't even think to ask what any of the pronouns were. I just kind of started playing, and then they just said, "Hey, just so you know, like these are our pronouns. If you could keep them in mind, we'd appreciate it." And I immediately was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, like I didn't realize." And I did that, and I
Mm-hmm.
honored their pronouns,
Yeah.
what they wish to be called. Absolutely no problem. At the end of the game, one of the players came up to me and gave me the biggest hug and said, "I have never felt so included in my life, just sitting at your table, because you didn't overdo it. You just talked to us like we were people here to play a game. And if you ever want to take a trip out to Manhattan and like run for us, like we'll
Yeah.
pay for you to come out there." And I was like to me that was like a home run because that was just me being my authentic self and them being like, "Hey, that was the coolest thing ever. Thank you for being you." And I was like, "See, that feels good."
Just treat people like people. Don't be a dick.
Exactly. It's not that hard either.
I was telling that at one con last October because they're asking what type of episodes I do, and I go, or what was my favorite series of episodes, and one of them I said, oh, I did like a series of 3 or 4 because we film in blocks of 2 to 3 hours, and I cut it up that way I actually can make multiple episodes. I did a series of 3 to 4 episodes of basically how to be a good player slash GM, and 80% of it
Nice.
was rehash topics of don't be a dick.
It's just so funny that you say that because it really is like that's all it is. Like just don't be a dick to people. Just and I'll say particular at conventions too. Like let the wild stuff fly. Like
Mm-hmm.
if someone doesn't have the movement to run up a set of stairs, jump off a platform, and bury their axe with two hands into the enemy's head, what is it, another few squares, and it's not your home campaign. Like, just let them do it. Like, have fun.
Yeah.
I mean, make them roll for it, and if they roll poorly, you can have a great funny thing where they go to leap off the platform but misjudge and fall. But if they get like a 20, like they fly through the air and like wings, a fire burst out of their back and everyone's screaming and, with joy.
What's the like 5-10 years down the line for a gamer? What moment are they going to talk about more? The fact that you argued a rule with them that they couldn't go 10 feet more, or that their character jumped off a balcony of stairs and drove their axe through the big main boss and killed them, and then they saved the day? It's going to be the second 100%. One.
That's exactly my mental state with all that.
Yeah.
Even with my home game too, I'm really not much of a rules lawyer. I like to keep things grounded in, like, yeah, we can fudge the rules like for something cool, like rule of cool. But if it's absolutely obnoxious, I'll be like, listen, like, that's a little much. Do you think, like, can we rework this? And like, my group's always cool with that.
Yeah. I try and keep like we were talking about movement. I try and keep the movement a little bit. It's like you just are just short of getting to this villain. You're almost there. You'll get to them in game terms 6 more seconds. But
yeah,
if they're trying to do something cool, I'm always pretty cool about it.
Yeah, and I think that's what for me. I think that's what keeps my players coming back. Is like I'm a very laid back DM who. One of the things I think that is one of my better qualities is I know when to rein in the rule of cool. Like I know when to be like, that's a little much. Like let's bring it back.
Yeah. I'm not trying to say no here, but why don't we try something different?
Exactly. Like, I mean, I had, because it was a problem player, but
yeah,
we've all had one player in my campaign who, if they're listening to this podcast, is going to know exactly them talking about them, but whatever. Where they just felt, and I'll say they just so we don't have any specifics. Where they felt that they could do whatever they wanted, and their character wasn't allowed to die because they loved their character so much. And I do like dark high fantasy is what people describe it as, like kind of like Diablo-esque, but like maybe a little more powerful. So they're on an airship going to like this big they're all level 15 at this point. Like they're going to fight a big battle. And one of the people that joins them is like this big righteous warrior who has 2 axes strapped to his back that are known to be god killer axes.
Yeah.
And they're like, I want to steal one of the axes. I'm like, you can roll for it. I'm like, but I'm letting you know the DC is insane. I'm like, I don't even know if like you could, even on a nat 20, I don't know if you could do it. Like that's how, like these are bonded to him. They're attuned to him. This guy is really meant to go in there and clear the path for you. Like he's like a plot device, essentially. Yeah. And like he's been with them throughout the story, like doing like little things to like bail him out in like hard situations. And they are, he goes to steal the axes and like tries to distract him by hugging him. And like the dude was like God adjacent. And I was like, you can't do it. And she just started like continually poking to try and do it. I'm like, he literally jumps off the airship. I'm like, and he descends down and lands on the ground below, creates a massive crater, all the trees blow. I described this whole scene of him landing, like doing the heroic Iron Man landing, whatever. And then he like heads off on foot because he decides it's going to be easier for him to go undetected that way. And he goes, I jump off after him. I'm like, what are you doing? Are you trying to derail the game? I'm like, no, like, I don't care that you're level 15. I don't care that like you're this kind of character. Like, you're jumping off and like you're going to die just from falling.
And at that point, after 17 years of DMing, I would have just let them.
Oh, listen, and then I got the speech of, you can't just kill my character. It means too much to me. I've played them this long, and I was just like,
I ain't doing anything. You're the one doing it with these actions.
Yeah. And believe it or not, that was the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
And that's when I just was like, hey, guys, like, I don't want to run the game anymore. Like, it's just, like, you guys fought and beat this thing. Like, that's, like, I'm good ending the campaign on that note and blah, blah, blah. And that caused a big rift. And then, a bunch of the original players like, hey, man, like, we know why you did that. Can we still play? I was like, yeah, we can still play. I'm like, but it's tough, man, because, like, I mean, like, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings and make them
Yeah.
feel like, like, hey, I don't want you in the group anymore. But like, I've had a few players where I've had to be like, look, we're cool. We hit a point in the campaign. Good. We finished this chapter. All right. Thanks for playing. And
I've had a couple of times where you've had players like that, and I'm very happy with my group right now because we're all in our 40s and we're all very emotionally mature, thank God. Uh,
yes,
but like back in my 20s, I had one player in particular that just was a problem player, and yeah, the group broke up. But then we basically remet back up 2 weeks later, just without the one player.
yeah. And you know what? It happened. I mean, I had one player in particular who was
Mm,
like, just the combat was abysmal because I'm a theater of mind guy.
yeah.
Like, because that's how I started. I started with D&D is how I
Hmm.
started. So everything was like theater of the mind. You weren't really using maps like that, like
Yeah.
tactical combat maps like we have now. And just every combat, he was just barking orders at everybody, like, no, you go here, I go here, so we get the flanking bonus and blah blah blah. Like, he was trying to beat Dungeons and Dragons. He wasn't trying to play Dungeons and Dragons. I was like, this is dumb.
He's
I'm
trying to
like, I
Chevy
don't like
chase it.
this. Yeah, literally. I was like, oh my god. I'm like, this guy's got to go. I'm like, this is sapping
Uh,
the fun out of my life.
I have to give a shout out to my co-host Brent because last campaign we were running one of the like there's three kind of big bads they could have like there's the main big bad and there's like two people that they could have allied with to kind of fight the big main bad, and none of them they had kind of redeeming qualities, but 90% they're basically anti-villains. They're all doing
Yep.
the wrong thing but for the right cause. And then one of the kind of Archon the Cruel type characters I have in my campaign, had the eye and hand of not Vecna, but of people like the Eye of Odin because I run a Nordic
Okay.
campaign in him, and then a hand of actually a previous character that sacrificed their hand to the Well of Mimir in a previous
Oh, that's
campaign,
awesome.
and he was running around with that, and then Brent, who was playing a paladin, he's like, I want those so bad off him. I'm like, good luck, because that dude's not going to give them up. And he kept bringing it up, and we talked a couple of times away from the table. And I'm like, listen, I'm not going to stop you from trying to take them, but I'm telling you right now, it's a suicide mission. Because that dude's not going to willingly even negotiate depowering himself.
Right.
And he understood
And
that. He till the up to the last session, he's like, "Man, I wish I could have got those items, or he could have made a move to get them." I'm like, "You could have."
but that's the thing with me too, is like the way I run is I tell everybody, like, if someone's new to my campaign or someone's joining the game, I tell them, look, death is a real consequence of my game.
Mm-hmm.
What we do after death is like we can talk about. Like let's say you're a player in my game and you want to make a
Yeah,
heroic last stand. Okay, cool. Like, your character died because there was just no other way around it. The dice were rolling the way they're rolling, and like, I mean, I've fudged dice at times to,
yeah,
and just to help the story, but your character dies after the session. Like, we'll end you for that session as your character's dead, and I'll reach out to you because one thing I do with my group is every week, as I send like in between emails of other stuff going on in the world, like that they
yeah,
might hear through rumor mills, and I'll contact people individually, and I've been like, hey man, like, I know your character died. Do you want them to be fully dead? Do you want them where basically the group might be able to resurrect you? Do you want it where, like, in the last second before the killing blow lands, you're actually saved by this god or goddess and you can appear later in the campaign or you can come right back? Like, I always talk about it. Like, it's never just, okay, your character died? Cool, make a new character because I'm the DM and I said so. It's,
yeah,
hey man, like, this was a consequence. What do you want to do? Like, do you want to let it go?
yeah,
Or, like, do you really love this character? You want to do something else with him?
yeah. I've done that before, and just because like all the resurrection spells say if the soul is willing, I'll
Yeah,
talk to them away from the table. I'm like, the table's going to try and resurrect this character, even if you don't want to come back as this character. Is the soul willing?
right.
Because you, in my opinion, you have total control of that.
Well, it's funny that you say that with the Souls Willing thing because I've never been a player in a campaign ever in 29 years.
Yeah.
And I always brought an NPC into the game called Drew Thalion because I invented the name when I was 15, so there you go.
Yeah.
So ironically, it's been the name of like all my paladin characters in like World of Warcraft, things like
Yeah.
that. It's the name of one of the characters in the Plague Throne. But he was in my game for, I want to say, 28 years, 27 years, somewhere in
Damn.
that, as an NPC. Like, I always had him involved. And I, like, wrote his story through that time, where eventually he became the leader of something I called the Silvered Spire,
Yeah.
where it's actually a floating city above the world of Olivanda, which is where the main story took place before I moved on to, like, a new area.
Okay.
And basically he was like the leader of like these angelic warriors that would like try and, like they would arrive in like times of desperate need kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I ended the last chapter of the campaign was he sacrificed himself by pulling apart his armor and exploding in a nova of light to manifest the original evil as like a physical being. And that sacrifice and his holy light made that possible, that the group could now actually damage it, and they fought. It was a huge battle. And after it happened, I was like, I think I just matured as like a DM, because the soul's not willing. Like, I'm ready to let him go and just
Yeah.
like, that was his moment to like just retire from my campaign. So the soul was not willing, and they couldn't bring him back. But I was like, this was fun. Now, like, every once in a while, when I shoot the in-between session email, we had another guy in the group, John, who was a fantastic player. Unfortunately, he's just so busy that he can't really play right now.
Yeah.
He had a Loxodon named, hello, my friends. I can, his signature at the line I can hear. But anyway, he played a Loxodon who was like this big, happy, like, cleric. And his character, unfortunately, fell to his demise. So now, like, every once in a while, I'll send an email in between sessions where they're kind of like off in like the afterlife, like having adventures together. Vazul, that was the name of his character, Vazul Doja.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think that's what I like about like having a Nordic setting, is because there's a chance, even as a living character, you can go to like a Valhalla or a Folkvang, and you can run into former characters that have played in former campaigns. And then the great thing about running a living campaign is can run into somebody from a previous campaign, and obviously your decisions affect the outcome of certain things, but it's just nice to be able to have those, cameos or those throwbacks and make the world seem even more alive and interconnected than what it is.
Oh yeah. I just did that recently in my game, because Olivanda was like my main world, like where they did that whole dark storyline. They defeated the original evil, and now the reformed group is in a different plane called Jalordesh, where the main story arc right now is there's 3 realms in my setting. So there's like the Realm of Shattered Skies, Olivanda, and Jalordesh, and right now there's something called the Convergence happening, where they're going to merge into one with the sun and free the oldest god of the realm, who is just essentially he's just basically Korn from Warhammer.
Oh god!
All he wants is skulls and blood, and what wound up happening was, the group hasn't figured this out yet, so no one listen to it. Block your ears if you're from my group. Well, he has 3 main components to him in order to like resurrect and reform: his armor, his weapon, and his helmet.
Yeah.
Each one of those is buried in the core of each planet or realm.
Oh
and he's trying to pull them back into the red sun that he's trapped in. And his weapon is my favorite thing ever, because the first time I described it to the player group, they lost their minds. They're like, wait, what did you just say? Because it put his power level into perspective without actually having to say, well, he's really strong and he's really powerful. One of the characters was a monk who got visions. Like, that's what he wanted his character to do. And he caught a glimpse of all this happening, his character that he retired, which is great because now the new group doesn't know it. He saw this god whose name is, I can't think, Brigara.
Yeah.
Walking amongst the realm of Olivanda, holding his weapon, which is a mace with the gilded heads of Tiamat as the ends of the flail.
Oh.
So they're like, excuse me, the heads of what? I'm like, yeah, he killed Tiamat, ripped off her skulls, dipped them in gold, and forged them into a weapon that he carries, and that's how big he is in terms of Titanic scale. And that's why all the other gods had to team up to take him out, and they couldn't even kill him. They could only trap him. So that's what they're trying to avoid right now.
That's the point. If I was a wizard, I'd be like, I wonder if I could discover a spell of interdimensional travel just to get off this setting, because this sounds like we're screwed.
I mean, listen, obviously it's going to be set up where they're going to be able to defeat him if they really want to and everything. But the goal is to not have it happen. Is the main goal. Like, keep him locked away and find other ways to counteract it. But
that's what I did with that Dragonborn. Is just like, because he was also, I forgot to mention, a character from my former campaign.
Yes.
That I did get the permission of that player. It's like, can I turn this basically person into a more caricature version of your person, that this seems like the natural progression of if you'd went bad, you went bad. And they're like, yeah, I'm more than okay with it. So there was a player from at our table that played in that campaign, and they're like, we do not want to fight him. We do not, like, because he was already insane as a player character. He was overpowered as this brute fighter. We don't want to run. So we had 30 sessions of that before they actually ran into the dude, and just it was the table was the biggest hype man for my villain than I've ever had.
That's awesome. I love it. Yeah, I mean, so like right now that's where my group is. They've just learned about the convergence and one thing that I did that really messed with them with the crossing over like old characters is they discovered the Panzuzian lantern.
Yeah,
which there's 7 of them in the world. The big bad of the original game was Panzuzu, who's still like alive and ticking. Like she's basically like the mother of demons, the queen of all the hells of Alevanda.
Like Pazuzu the demon, like named after?
No, Panzuzu.
Oh, Panzuzu.
P-A-N. Okay. Yeah.
I thought you were making an Exorcist reference.
No, well, that was actually part of the inspiration for it.
Okay.
And then I based her on long before Diablo 4 came out. She was based on biblical Lilith.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because in college I actually studied religions of the world, demonology, and exorcisms. So,
fun fact: I've actually never. The half the reason I don't like to talk about religion, and I've never revealed on this podcast, is like I was a major Catholic growing up. I was German Roman Catholic family, grew up in that, and almost actually became a priest. Was actually at the dinners talking to priests, but then the nerd in me was talking to them. I'm like, hey, what about exorcisms and ghosts and all that? And all 3 of the priests said, oh, that's real. That's all Hollywood. And I go, there's documented actual stuff from the Vatican. Oh, no, that's fake. And I'm like, well, I don't want to become a priest, and if I can't become a priest Ghostbuster.
Well, I will tell you for a fact, I studied I went to a Catholic college.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Catholic built on the college tradition.
Yeah.
And one of the courses they still offered when they were transitioning from that kind of college to a college that does sports teams was they offered religions of the world, demonology, and all that stuff. And I got to hear exorcism tapes. I got to read about like Amaktaraj and everything, and like all these different demons. It was just a really cool course, and I'd always been fascinated with it long before that. So I based her on biblical Lilith.
Nice.
And then she evolved into like this crazy, crazy thing as I took this course. And the group kind of stifled her. They didn't defeat her, but they basically got her back in the hells where she kind of lives right now. And so she has these lanterns in this other realm to try and escape.
Yeah.
But the group's able to use the lantern that when they put certain crystals in it, it actually opens up a portal to like where the light can show them where they're essentially at on the world of Alevanda. So if the 2 maps were overlaid, they can see exactly where they'd be in that world. And what they are starting to realize is that every time they do that, there's a tear in reality and other things can pour through from other dimensions. So the last thing to come through was a former player character, Sir Humphrey Drayden.
Nice.
Yeah. So I got to bring him in. I did his voice and everything. And the guy who wrote the character and played the character for years was like, dude, very proud of you. You did the voice great. You guys' mannerisms down. That was awesome.
Hey, tabletop gamers. Thank you for watching this episode of the Hermit's Homebrew. We come out with new episodes every Wednesday. Remember to like, subscribe, and share with your friends as we continue to level up and grow.